What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Holmes Hobbies Motor Control. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman, hanging out in the studio, and man, it feels good to be back. I apologize. I know I've been scarce lately. I've only put up a handful of live streams, and other than that, I really haven't been around. But trust me, I have been working diligently behind the scenes. I have been working on bringing you better content. I just didn't want to put out content for the sake of just putting out content, right? For me, it is a passionate thing. It's something I really care about. And I want to make sure I'm putting out content that I really want to put out there. So today we're going to actually kick off the very first episode of our Holmes Hobbies Motor Control Marathon. We're going to be running motor control episodes all week. It's proven to be one of the best running series on the channel. You guys have shown me over a very long span now that you stand behind Holmes Hobbies as much as I do. And even some of you that aren't Holmes Hobbies fans, you watch just because you're curious as to why I am a Holmes Hobbies fan. And I'll just tell you straight up, I'm a Holmes Hobbies fan for a couple of reasons. First reason being John, the owner of Holmes Hobbies, is... How do I put this? He is a real RC guy. And I know that that's like it's a real vague statement, but he's a real RC guy. He's passionate. He has his own collection of RCs. He builds his own RCs. He loves to drive, right? He used to be a comp guy himself. John is an RC guy, right? That's the first reason. The second reason is because John makes products out of necessity. He makes products that are for RC guys by an RC guy, right? He's the real deal RC car guy manufacturer creating RC car parts for RC car guys, right? His very first motor wasn't created to make money. His very first motor was created because he wanted a motor that he wasn't able to get on the market. He wanted a motor that just wasn't available. It wasn't offered. RC rock crawling is fairly new still in the grand scheme of things, right? And John is one of those OG guys, and he wanted to make his own motors. And so he did. So I stand behind him because of the passion. I also stand behind him because of the products. The products are rock solid. As you guys have seen on this channel, I abuse the snot out of his products, and it is very hard for me to actually hurt them. So I stand behind him for that. The last reason is because of the control. I'm a crawling, scaling nut job. I love the realistic factor. I love the control. And when you go out in a real Jeep or a real truck or off-road vehicle of whatever sort it may be, and you go hit the rocks, the very first thing you do is drop it in a low range, air down those tires, and start picking your lines correctly, right? It's a very technical form of driving. It's slow, methodical, and I love it. And that is what I use his products for. They bring me that slow, controlled, just unbelievable crawlability that I prefer. Now, a lot of people will try to say there's other things on the market that do that, and to a point, yes, there is. Absolutely. There's a lot of really good electronics on the market right now. I'm not going to knock people for that. However, what I do with Holmes Hobbies products would probably kill a lot of other people's products. In fact, I know it would kill a lot of other people's products. So I just stand behind them. Anyways, now that I got that out of the way, I'll go ahead and say John sent me a package. I already opened it up. I thought I recorded it. Unfortunately, it was not recording. But on the good side, it's not a huge package. It was a little package. There's only one thing in it. And today's episode's all about that one thing, okay? And this is part of our Getting Back to Basics theme that we've been trying to do for the last year now. But we're finally getting around to it. We're going to talk about brushed motors, and specifically the TrailMaster series of brushed motors, and why I run that over so many of the other options, including the higher-end Crawlmaster series, right? Which isn't really to say I don't run them, but I definitely run these motors more. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at it, and we'll just kind of pick up where my video kind of started back up from my messed up recording. And yeah. Alright, you guys, this is the TrailMaster Sport 550. This is a 12-turn option. We're going to take a little bit closer look at this today. A lot of us just kind of grab brushed motors and don't really spend a lot of time looking into them, besides looking at, is it a 550 or a 540, and what turn motor is it, right? And that's really all a lot of us look at. However, there's a whole nother community of builders and drivers out there that really put a lot of time, effort, and thought behind motor selection. And you know, there's a lot of little things that go into a brushed motor that really matter when it comes down to picking the correct one for you and your application and how you're planning on using it. Now, this one right here, this is the TrailMaster Sport series, and if you're not familiar with Holmes Hobbies lineup, he offers quite a few options when it comes to brushed motors. The TrailMaster Sport lineup is the budget lineup. This is for guys that are probably not, you know, comping at the highest level. They're probably looking to have fun. They might even be bashing on their trucks a little bit, running in rough conditions that are going to vary. Maybe they're running in, you know, really rough weather like snow and mud and things, or maybe they're running the desert, really dry, hot conditions, stuff like that, things that kill motors quickly, right? So if that's the case, they're probably not going to want to spend, you know, $50+ on a brushed motor knowing they're going to kill it fairly quick. So that's where this comes in. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the differences between, you know, say a high-end motor and the TrailMaster Sport series, and why you would want to select a TrailMaster Sport as opposed to spending $50+ on a higher end one, right? This motor in particular is it's kind of got a I'm tied to the history of this motor a little bit, right? When I first started working with John, oh, the phone's going off. So when I first started working with John over at Holmes Hobbies, I informed him that, you know, I run a lot of 21-turn Traxxas throwaway motors, and he was very curious as to why I would do that. And I told him straight. I actually put this in a video a long time ago, but it's been a while, so we'll talk about it. It's, you know, I told him straight up, they're cheap, man. I can get them for $20, you know, $25, something like that at the time. And if they die, I can just throw it away, and I've got a couple more on deck just in case. And to me, that mattered because I've always been on a budget. I don't have money to go buy a $50, $80 motor and then kill it in mud while I'm trail running with my friends and then have to rebuild it time and time again. It's going to get expensive after a while. It's going to cost me. And to me, I'd just rather have a few throwaways on hand for trucks like that, right? And he's like, okay, well, that actually makes a lot of sense, man. He's like, a lot of people don't want to spend a lot of big money on their trucks, especially if they're just doing some recon G6 action or trailing with their buddies, you know. So he's like, what would you prefer? He's like, you know, as far as turns go, this and that, and what are you really after? And I kind of broke him down on what I like, you know, and the fact that I run heavy trucks, so I gear reduce them, and, you know, that's really how I make the motors last. So what he did is he created this, and this, as far as features go, this has 0 timing, and you'll be able to look this up. You can go on the website and look all the same stuff up that I'm going to tell you here, but this is a 0 timing setup, right? It's a universal installation, so basically this motor can be spun in any direction, right? You plug it in, and you can tune with your ESC or whatever to go any direction, or if the tranny setup to go opposite than what you're used to. It doesn't matter. This motor's okay at running full power in either direction, which is great. It's versatile. So as far as the end shaft, it's 1/8 diameter, right? And that's just your standard average size. 36 millimeter outside diameter on the can. 57 millimeters in length. My bad. That doesn't include the shaft. I don't know why I was thinking 55. Now you will also have a ball bearing on the output shaft, so you can see there it does have a ball bearing on the output. Only on the output, not on this part here. I believe this side's called the end bell. So it does have a ball bearing on there, which is a good thing. That helps keep the shaft nice and stable under heavy load, which us rock crawler guys, we tend to put these through a lot of load. Now it does have a bronze bushing though on the end bell, which is good. It is nice and sturdy, strong. It's gonna be durable. Yeah. Now, as far as the magnets go, this has Y45 ferrite magnets. They're high strength. I don't really know much about magnets, so I'm not going to front like I do. I just know that this motor's held up really, really good for me, and I put them through some serious punishment. Now, disclaimer, I have not ran the 12-turn yet. This is my first 12-turn. As I was saying earlier, I have other options. I've got the 35-turn. You can see that there. I got 35 turns. I've got 27 turn. I've got the 21 turn. I run the snot out of that 21 turn. I've got a bunch of those. I've ran through a few of them. I give them to my friends. I give them to people at events. You see me totally just swipe for the motor and it wasn't there. So it happens when I watch the camera. But they're great motors. I've hooked a lot of people up with them. I really enjoy them. I get a lot of praise about those motors. A lot of people tell me, hey, these motors are great, especially for the price. So I like them. However, like I said, they are throwaway motors. So don't try to compare a motor like this, performance-wise, to, say, a motor like one of those right up there, right? That 13-turn TrailMaster is an animal. You're going to get tremendous amounts of power out of that, and the difference is runtime, right? That thing, you're going to have to rebuild it, right? When it dies, you're going to have to rebuild that. This one is going to keep going a little bit longer than the other one, probably. It's built a little bit more rugged, I would say, durable, meant to take on the elements, but it's not going to be as capable. It's not going to have the performance that the other one is. So yeah, there's just some differences. Now, I know it's a lot to kind of stretch over just a single brush motor here. We're really pushing it on this video, but I want to talk about this because we're going to get back to some basic stuff. I wanted to do that last year. We never really did. This year, we're going to get back to some basic stuff. We're going to use some brushed motors again, something I don't really do a lot. We're going to start using brushed motors again. We're still going to use our brushless motors like crazy. In fact, I still have some brushless setups that we need to work through. So we're going to start installing all of these bad boys. I said I was going to do that a while back. We're going to start doing that now too. So there's a lot of things to do. But tomorrow's episode, what we're going to do is we're actually going to install a servo. It's not a Holmes Hobbies servo just because Holmes Hobbies doesn't make tiny servos, but we're going to install that servo in, let's see if I can find it here. In this, the Holmes Hobbies powered Polaris Razor. This is the Axial Yeti Junior build. And some of you guys may have seen the episode where we installed a BR Mini in this bad boy, and it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. I'm excited to use it. However, the servo that I have in there just is not powerful enough to turn the wheels. It just isn't. So I went and bought that high-tech one. Hopefully that'll be powerful enough to turn the wheels. There was no room to put a full-size one in there. So yeah, we're going to try to do that. And if I can get it to work, we're taking it out to have some fun tomorrow. And if that doesn't work, I've got another video planned. So that being said, I appreciate you guys. I really do. I know I've been scarce lately, but it's all for good reason. Trust me, I've still been filming a lot of stuff, and it's all going to start rolling out now. So thank you very much for waiting. Thank you for putting up with my lack of existence here on YouTube for quite some time. But let's get this action going, man. I feel good to be back. Hopefully you guys are glad to have me back. Feels weird to be talking a lot again to the camera. Yeah. Anyways, that's a wrap. Love you guys. Piece of chicken grease. Choo! See you tomorrow. All right, you guys, I really hope that helps some of you out there when it comes to motor selection and picking a motor that works for you, right? And now there's a lot more we can get into, a lot more detail. Obviously, brush motors are a really in-depth topic. We can talk about everything from windings to magnets to it's a niche. You know, it's a niche. It's like tuning motors or something. It's just one of those things we could really deep dive into, and I plan on doing that as well. So if you want to, get right to it, you don't want to wait for me, go ahead and head over to Holmes Hobbies official YouTube channel. You guys can check him out. He puts out, the guy is literally a genius. He puts out some of the most informative videos on the internet when it comes to RC motors, RC electronics, and just RC in general. I am personally honored to be able to work with and represent his company, and I hope you guys will take the time to go check him out. Subscribe and support the product, support the movement, and yeah, support what we're doing out here, man. Making RC great again. That being said, I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow. Piece of chicken grease, fam. Yay!